All right, good afternoon, everyone. Sorry, I had a couple glitches there. Hopefully this comes through this time around. And we're at the Middletown Area Historical Society's museum here in the Middletown, Pennsylvania, 29 East Main Street. We're opening Middletown's History Vault once again. Again, if you were on, I had a little glitch, and so here we are back again. And we're talking about the Roughwear Clothing Company. This continues our talks about some of the industry that was here in Middletown at one time. We had quite a bit. Unfortunately, most of that is no longer in existence. They've closed down. Buildings have been torn down here in the borough. But we have a great history, and we have some great artifacts on display here at the museum of some of that industry. So the Roughwear Clothing Company was founded in 1910 by Hyman Kirschbaum under the name Sportsman's Apparel Company out of New York City. And in 1919, the company changed its name to the Roughwear Clothing Company, which only produced sheep-lined leather clothing. In 1923, the company had moved to Brunswick, New Jersey, and then moved on in 1928 to Middletown, Pennsylvania, at the corner of Wood and Wilson Streets, where the former A.S. Kreider shoe factory was. About the time there were 200 people employed by the Roughwear Clothing Company, 95 of which were all dedicated to the stitching room. Many of the hides that were used were domestic. However, a large percentage of those came from France and Sweden, and some came as far from South America, South Africa, and even Australia. The founder, Hyman Kirschbaum, would pass away in 1930, and the business was then willed to his daughter Eleanor and his son Isaac Kirschbaum. The Middletown factory was a very well-known factory of fleece-lined jackets, and they were in very high demand, and the employees took great pride in their work. In 1934, they made sheep-lined leather jackets for Admiral Richard Byrd's expedition to Latin America. In the 1940s, they actually made custom motorcycle jackets for the New York City Police Department, which is pretty cool. During World War II, under a U.S. government contract, they manufactured over 500,000 leather jackets and flying suits for the Air Force and the Quartermaster Corps, producing over 12,000 garments a week in that factory. The average cost of one of the leather jackets back then was about $8.25. They end up making leather items for motorcycle riding as well as some sports items. And in the 1970s, they started manufacturing clothing for the fashion market. The business would be in business for 70 years and then closed its doors in 1982. The general manager back in 1982 was Paul Kello, and some of those that were familiar with the borough know Paul from the My Tailor shop here in town. Paul was the general manager and said that due to energy costs such as the electric and to heat, the heating of that building cost them over $100,000 a year to heat that building, as well as rising employee costs, just forced the company to go out of business. They had really no competition here in the United States, but it ended up being international foreign companies shipping their products into the United States, which was also detrimental to the Roughwear Clothing Company. And again, they ultimately closed in 1982. As I said, here in the museum, we have a great piece of history, and the artifact here behind me, I'm going to flip the camera around and show everybody. We have one of the flight suits that was produced by the Roughwear Clothing Company. The building right now still stands, and it is actually the Wood Lane apartment building right now. So that's still down at Wood and Wilson Streets, so you can still see what that building looks like. It's been updated and upgraded, but it still stands today. So let me flip the camera around. We'll take a look at these flight suits, or this one flight suit, excuse me. And again, this is inside the Middletown Historical Society's museum, located at 29 East Main Street. Inside the glass case here for protection purposes. This entire ensemble was one of the flight suits used by the U.S. Air Force. Now, the top piece here would not have been made by the Roughwear Clothing Company, but this was part of the package deal of a flight suit. So you see there's the headpiece and the mask. And on down here, you see that sheep-lined leather jacket This was not one of the individual jackets. This was the jacket for the flight suit. There was a whole separate jacket itself. And then you see here the leather pants with sheep-lined leather pants. And all the way on down, you can see there's even a set of boots that went with this. Pretty cool piece of history. Rough Wear Clothing Company here in Middletown, Pennsylvania. Probably one of the best in the United States at producing these items. The Rough Wear Clothing Company will actually hold 5 U.S. government contracts to produce clothing for the government. And again, this is just another great preserved piece here in glass cases. You can stop by the museum. They're open on Wednesday mornings right now. We just started opening back up. Or by appointment. You can certainly call or contact us via our website, middletownareahistoricalsociety.org, and ask for a special visit here at the museum to check out this wonderful artifact as well as many others. The fire exhibit that I spoke about last week is still on display. You have an opportunity to come up and see and witness some great historical pieces and artifacts from the Middletown Area Volunteer Fire Company, who is not far from turning 200 years old. So make sure you try to get up here Wednesday mornings or schedule a private appointment. Remember, guys, all these videos are on YouTube, Middletown Area Historical Society of Dauphin County, as well as our website, again, middletownareahistoricalsociety.org. Under the Middletown History page, you can catch a bunch of these past videos. Guys, I say this every week. If history is just something that you love and it rings in your heart, please consider sending a contribution to the Historical Society. They are a 501c nonprofit organization. You can send a check to 29 East Main Street, Middletown, Pennsylvania. Any and all contributions are welcome and appreciated. This organization runs off of your contributions and helps preserve, follow our motto, collect, preserve, and teach the great history of Middletown and the surrounding areas. Guys, thanks for stopping in today. We will see you actually in 2 weeks. I'm not going to be around next weekend because of the Thanksgiving holiday. We hope you have a great and happy Thanksgiving, guys. See you later. Take care.